just like we turn up the thermostat this time of year, my next guest says there are scientific ways to dial up your happiness. In fact, when you combine the research from two different fields, positive psychology and neuroscience, we learn there's a lot about our day-to-day happiness we can absolutely control. Studio 5 contributor Dr. Liz Hale joins me. Now, is this something we can actually pinpoint what makes us happy?
Isn't that interesting? Well, you know, from our fraternal and twin studies, we've learned that some of happiness really is genetic. We do have a set point. So it's about 50% is a set point of regarding our DNA. So the other 50% really depends on life, on the ups and downs and how we handle the ups and downs of life, Amy. But the good news is that genetics is not destiny. So we know more than ever before that we really can increase happiness, our happiness for ourselves and happiness for others. And I think that's part of why we're here, right? Men are that they might have joy. I think it's very true.
Well, I think a lot of people will say happiness is their goal, but if we can kind of pinpoint it, is there a goal that we have in mind?
Yeah, that's so true. And sometimes the more we seek it, the more it eludes us. That's the mystery about happiness. We're not out to go for a 9 or a 10, right? We're just really going out to, how can I just increase my own happiness? How do I be as happy as I possibly can and help those around me be as happy as they can be as well. So we do it in 3 ways, and that is by really, when you're happy and things are good, really enhance that happiness, create that higher emotional peak. And when things are tough, times are bad, just kind of watch that the lows don't get quite so low. And then, of course, help raise your happiness set point, and there's all kinds of ways to do that.
Okay, I love those 3 points that you have. And those are things that we should maybe look for every day. You're saying if we look for those things every day, we could have daily happiness.
That's true. And happiness in the short run actually equates to overall happiness in the long run. We really can change and make a concerted effort and be happier with a little less effort the longer we go. It just is interesting. Happy individuals are just more successful across the board, right? We know that. More successful in work and school and play, relationships, health. Joyful people are more creative. They're better able to learn. They're more resilient. They're less stressed, less depressed, and just overall they're healthier.
It is, that's a lot of reasons that we should strive to do these things to make ourselves happy, because you've brought us 5 activities we can do to train ourselves, because I do think that's what it is. It's training ourselves to be happy. Okay, so the first one is perfect this time of year, right?
Yeah, so
to express our gratitude.
Expressing gratitude. So much of the time, I think we focus on getting more of what we want, right? Instead of really wanting what we have. I think that is the overall secret. Have you ever met someone who really seems to have it all? They have it all going for them in every stretch of the imagination, but they're not happy. It's because they're still in the getting instead of just the grateful mode. And you're right, it is a really good time. And it's a great time to even think about, how do I want to show up this Thanksgiving as the host or as a visitor? You know, what can I do just to bring the better part of me to this event?
Yeah, I like that, to express that gratitude. And the next one is also something this time of year makes it easier, but all year round, just performing really small and simple acts.
Sometimes I think we think we need a major overhaul, right, to really be happy. But research shows it's the small and the simple things, the day in and the day out, that make the biggest difference. They have the most significant difference. Berkeley University, they launched this Greater Good in Action, which collects hundreds of simple proven interventions to raise the happiness set point. And some of those things are writing an apology to someone, even when it's a very old apology. Or being able to write a gratitude letter for someone who's really meant a lot to you. Even a self-compassion letter. Let's say you're going through something that's really tough. You lost a job or lost a loved one or divorce, whatever it might be that we feel sad about. You can really write a letter to yourself. It's a really interesting exercise of self-compassion.
And just something that's small and simple. And that kind of lends itself to your next point, that we need to foster relationship. And I'll tell you that something as an adult, it has to be an active thing to make those relationships sustainable.
Yeah, isn't that a great point? Happiness doesn't just happen, and neither do relationships, right? The Grant study is just a really famous study out of Harvard. It was back in 1938. They followed a high number of men, 268 Harvard undergraduates, and they wanted to follow them and see how they did with success in their relationships, in their marriages, psychological, physical traits, personality, IQ, drinking habits. And what they found is after 75 years and $20 million, the one lead researcher said these 5 words, that what they found, happiness is love, full stop.
Happiness is love.
Happiness is love, yep. It wasn't about brilliance, it wasn't about IQ, it was about relationships. It was about love.
We have to work on those. And this next one I love because it is a boomerang effect. You're saying create happiness for others. It comes back.
Yeah, doesn't it though? That's positive psychology. Yeah, and I think it's really in our nature to be altruistic, kind, and compassionate. And how they found this is they studied toddlers. They watched toddlers, and a toddler would watch an adult with a box in their hands, and they were in front of a cupboard, and they needed to get that cupboard open in order to pick the box. And these toddlers would walk over and open the cupboard. So sometimes it used to be that, oh, we're born evil or we're born bad. We're not. We're born good. We want to be helpful and we want to be happy. I just think that's the most touching study that I have ever seen, and really proving that this is part of who we are. It's part of human nature.
And quickly, your last one might be one people haven't heard of before. You say we can create happiness by having positive surprises in our life.
Yes, you know, it's the unexpected that makes us even happier than the expected. So think about that for someone you love. I don't really love surprises. So you have to be very careful when you surprise them. But it could be you surprise a child at school lunch with a Chick-fil-A sandwich, or you surprise your mate with tickets to a concert this weekend. But do those things that are the unexpected, or maybe it's a letter that you write from your heart and you leave it in a lunchbox or a briefcase. Do something that is out of the norm.
I love it, Liz. If we want to get more of this type of advice or fashion advice from you, where's the best place?
Yeah, no fashion advice necessarily, right? But I do have a podcast with Dr. David Schramm, The Stronger Marriage Connection, where you find your regular podcasts.
Okay, perfect. Thanks so much, Dr. Liz.
Lovely being here.